Hello. In this chapter, we'll discuss some of the Sententiae for Chapter 5. Of course, you can look at the others at home, and we'll talk about them all in conferencing. So first one. Invidiam populi Romani cras non sustinebis. So, the verb. What is it? Which one is the verb? Sustinebis. Now, what tense is this? You can see right away, oh, there's a B in here in the ending. So this is going to be future or imperfect, and the I gives it away. It is, of course, future. So this is will. And I believe Wheelock glosses this, so we can go, and we already have non here, so we're negating the verb. You will not sustain. You will not sustain. We know, of course, it's you because of the S at the ending here. What will you not sustain? Well, here we have something in the accusative, Invidiam. The dislike. Which sounds a little mild, actually. I can sustain the dislike of many people. So whose dislike? Well, then we have a genitive. The dislike of the Roman people. And then we have the last word, cras, an adverb, which of course is just tomorrow. So we can tack that onto the front. Tomorrow you will not sustain the dislike of the Roman people. Moving on, number 4. They can be hard to identify, so I like to bring them up. What form of the verb is supera? Well, it's imperative. So be above. Of course, there's the old question. How many people should be above? Are we talking to one person here or more than 2 people? Here it's singular. Plural would be superate. Would be plural, but here it's singular. So be above, you singular guy. But be above what? Well, we have a couple of direct objects here. Animos et iram. And animos here, this is accusative plural. And remember, animus in the plural can have its own meaning. So be above pride, maybe. Pride and anger. Iram. Now, we have an adjective here that tells us something about iram. Oh, it's your anger. Be above pride and your anger. Let's go straight to number 5. This one is easy. I just included it because I like it. The verb is est. So something is something. It's culpa. The fault, the guilt, is mea, mine, oh friends. So that one's not bad. This is my bad, dude. Number 7. Propter adulescentiam filii mei mala vitae non videbatis. What's our verb here? Take a second to think about it. Videbatis. Now what tense is this? We see the B here, so this could be future maybe, or it could be imperfect. But then we have the A, so that's imperfect. So now we have to wonder, what person is it? Well, we have the ending tis, so that's going to be second person, plural. Y'all. Y'all, and it's videre is the verb. Video, videre, to see. Y'all were not seen. That's how you want to translate the imperfect. You all were not seen. And the media brings with the question, what were we not seeing? Is there anything here that can be accusative, could be a direct object? The first one that jumps out to me is adulescentiam, but that's right after this preposition, so that really can't be it. And Propter takes the accusative, so that explains that one. We need something else. Here's something. It could be a couple of different things. It looks like an adjective. Looks like even a substantive adjective. So what's the gender? That's really important if it's a substantive adjective. Looks like it might be feminine, right? Maybe feminine singular? But then it would be nominative, wouldn't it? And we already know that the subject is y'all, not some feminine singular thing. So this also could be neuter plural. There we see it. Y'all were not seeing the bad things or the evil things. the bad things. Then we have vitae. What do you think? What case is that? It can be genitive singular, it can be dative singular, or it can be nominative plural in the first declension here. Well, and here's genitive. The bad things of life. Y'all were not seeing the bad things of life. That's a good sentence right there. Now we just have some extra stuff that to deal with here. Filii and Propter adulescentiam. Y'all were not seeing the bad things of life. Propter, remember what it means? On account. And then you have on account of what? Of youth. And then filii. This is vocative, isn't it? My sons. So here's the whole sentence. Y'all were not seeing the bad things of life on account of youth, my sons. Okay, great. Let's move on to number 9. And again, this is another one that's not hard, but I just like it, so I'm including it. And again, it's est. So something is something. So what is what? Well, vita humana. Vita is life. And humana, that's pretty clear, the adjective, human. So human life. Well, we took too much room there. Human life is what? Supplicium. Wheelock glosses that as suffering. Human life is suffering. Now, quick question. M here, that looks awfully accusative, doesn't it? Is it accusative? Here's the subject. So is that then accusative? No, it's nominative, and it's neuter. That's why it looks like it could be accusative. And it's nominative because it's a predicate noun. So human life is suffering. I love that sunny attitude. 12. Semper gloria et fama tua manebunt. So where's the verb? Here it is. And uh-oh, is this future or imperfect? We see that B here, but it's not an I here, not an A. So goodness, what is it then? Well, if you remember, the future gets a little weird in the third person plural and gets a U instead of an I. And then we have NT. What kind of subject are we looking for then? Singular or plural? Third person, right? So it's going to be plural. So we're looking for some sort of they subject. But manebunt, we can already start with. Will remain. Something's going to remain. And something plural. Or at least two things. Gloria et fama. And that's your glory and fame. So your glory and fame. And again, I left myself too much space there. Your glory and fame will remain. Semper will always remain. That's it for the Sententiae, but I thought we'd look at the Martial, that little epigram from Martial there. Martial can be a lot of fun. This is the ancient Roman equivalent of a diss. The problem is that it's a poem, so the word order is screwy, but word order, remember, doesn't matter in Latin. So we have to watch the endings and do this systematically and not just jump to conclusions. The good news here is that the two sentences correspond to two lines, but that's not always going to be the case. Often you will have to translate over the lines. But anyway, verbs, well, we got some verbs. Well, in the first line, we have cenat. Present tense, third person. Is there anything that could be the subject? Well, we have two names. We have Tite and Caecilianus, but Tite is in the vocative form, so that can't be it. That's Caecilianus, and that will work. So far, we have Caecilianus. I'm just going to write C. Cenat is dines, not, sine, without, and this is glossed for us, without a pig or a boar. And then we say otitis, period, or maybe semicolon here. And then finally the shorter line, Bellum convivam Caecilianus habet. So again we have Caecilianus as the subject, and we see that's confirmed by the verb, which has that T ending. So C, Caecilianus has has what? Bellum convivam, a pretty or a beautiful dinner companion. He's saying that Caecilianus is eating alone so he can have the boar or the pig all to himself. It's, a funny joke about a glutton. So let's just do a little English to Latin, and we'll call it quits. English to Latin, number 12. Will war and destruction always remain in our land? The answer is yes. Yes, war and destruction will always remain in our land. Actually, the answer cannot be yes, because Latin, you may have noticed, or maybe not, does not have a form for yes or no. There's no word in Latin that just means yes or no. We can talk in conferences about how you would answer a yes or no question in Latin. We'll get to that. So, our verb here is going to be remain, and it's will remain. So that's going to be the future of manere, or remanere, if we like, but let's go with manere. We need the third person. We need plural because of war and destruction, and we need a future. So that's going to be manebunt. And then war and destruction. War, if you remember, is Bellum. And et destruction. Exitium, if you remember that from past chapters. And then always, we've had that before, right? Semper fi, so semper, always remain in our land. In, what's the fatherland? It's patria, right? What case does in take? It takes ablative. In patria nostra. So, there we have a good English to Latin sentence. And finally, here's our chin scratcher for the day. Does money satisfy the greedy man? Again, and a yes or no question, so I'll say yeah. Yeah, it does. Satisfy. That's the verb satio. Satiare. So, and the subject is going to be money, so we need a singular third person verb. Satiat, then money, pecunia, and then the greedy man. If you remember, we can just use this as a substantive adjective. So greedy is avar, avarus actually, but we need accusative, so avarum. So that's all the Sententiae in translation for this chapter. We will talk about this in conferencing and the other sentences as well. See you then.